At the outset, maybe one would want to indicate the following to Honorable Gama and Honorable Blose, that there's a fundamental difference between privatization and concession. English 101 will tell you that a concession is having a house and renting it out, and privatization is selling your house. Under our watch, there is no privatization that is taking place, but we must leverage investment. We must leverage the opportunities before us of creating a conducive and enabling environment for businesses to operate so we can create jobs for our people and push back on the frontiers of poverty. Honorable House Chairperson, we present this budget at a time when our country continues to navigate fiscal constraints, aging infrastructure, and a growing demand for safe, affordable, and reliable mobility. This budget vote reflects our commitment to ensuring that every rand spent delivers measurable impact, prioritizing delivery over intention and outcomes over expenditure. Today, we are here to account to the people of South Africa on the progress we have made and the work that lies ahead. Every road paved, bridge built, and rail line extended, and port modernized represents an investment in our people and the competitiveness of our economy and the promise of a more connected South Africa. Regarding the rollout of ARTO, the department has allocated a ring-fence budget of 163 million rands for the 26-27 financial year. Following concerns by some municipalities and stakeholders, a considered decision was taken to defer Phase 2 implementation to 1 July 2026. This deferment has enabled intensified stakeholder engagement and the systematic resolution of identified concerns. We remain confident, therefore, that the ARTO rollout is on track and will be implemented on the 1st of July 2026. On the Road Accident Fund, in recent years, which we all know has experienced governance challenges and institutional instability, we have responded decisively through the removal of the board and appointing an interim board and strengthening consequence management processes. The RAF has approved a comprehensive audit action plan to address all findings raised by the Auditor General. Disciplinary, recovery, and corrective measures are being implemented in line with legislative and governance requirements. Misconduct involving plaintiff attorneys has also been referred to the LPC on a case-by-case basis. The RAF board has resolved to withdraw litigation relating to the accounting standard previously applied by the fund, and RAF has now reverted to GRAP 19 and discontinued the inappropriate use of IPSAS 42. The fund has also recorded notable improvements in claim settled performance, maintaining payments of at least 4.6 billion rands per month since September 2025. This marks a significant improvement from previous averages of 2.1 billion rands a month, amounting now to cumulative settlements of 43.2 billion rands for the year that was. The process to appoint a substantive board is underway, with the names of applicants and nominees now published for public comment. As part of the efforts to address the long-term financial sustainability at RAF, the department is finalizing a review of the legislative and compensation framework, as the current model is not financially sustainable. We intend to introduce the RAPS bill to Parliament, and the proposed framework provides for defined structured benefits on a no-fault basis, while also introducing restrictions on critical areas. The growing use of alternative energy vehicles, including electric, hybrid, and gas-powered vehicles, will inevitably reduce the fuel levy revenue, which remains the primary funding of the source. To address this, honorable members, a gap analysis and business case are being finalized, focusing on the policy and operational design, the interface between the RAPS bill and the third-party motor insurance, and the applicable legal and regulatory frameworks, and for financial, actuarial, and funding considerations. We continue to do work through the RTMC, our lead agency, on road safety to ensure the collective safety of our people. As the Minister has indicated, road accidents continue to cost the economy some 260 billion rands per year. Through considered and strengthened implementation, we are accelerating our goal of reducing fatalities by 50% by the year 2030. The National Road Safety Strategy 2016-2030 has been reviewed in 2025. The reviewed strategy adopts a comprehensive, data-driven, and outcomes-based approach focused on safer roads and safer vehicles and safer road users. It further prioritizes sustainable funding partnerships, the establishment of the National Data Crash Observatory, and predictive analytics, amongst others. Chairperson, in 2025, South Africa recorded a 6.2% reduction in fatalities and a 6.4% reduction in fatal crashes compared to 2024. There is improved collaboration and enhanced law enforcement and visibility throughout the country, with provinces and municipalities, civil society, and NGOs also recording a 5% reduction in the festive season fatal crashes. However, pedestrian fatalities remain a major area of concern, accounting for approximately 45% of annual deaths. In response, we are implementing a year-long pedestrian management plan focused on targeted data-driven interventions. Public transport remains essential for economic growth, and want to reiterate what the Minister has said for the purposes of clarity, Honorable Blose. The existing funding instruments, including the PTNG, the